100% organic, all natural, vegan, and acrylic free tattoo pigments? Yes, I'm talking about Raw Tattoo ink. Peace and love, my peoples, and thank you for hitting that play button. I'm Imari D. This is Imari D TV, and this particular part of my show is where I review all things vegan, eco-friendly, and sustainable in the tattoo community. Today, I'm going to be talking about one of, if not the most important parts of a tattoo. It's the ink. The ink is the most important part of the tattoo. With so many inks on the market out there, it really just comes down to preference. For me, it's a no-brainer. I want to use inks with the least amount of inorganic pigments inside of it as possible. So the good folks over at Raw graciously sent me a set to try out. However, I will say that this review is completely unbiased and my personal opinion after using and talking to the good folks over at Raw Pigments. So right off the bat, what I will say about this ink is the consistency is very good. It mixes very well and it has a good cup life. Personally, I do longer tattoo sessions, anywhere from 6 to 12 hours each sitting. And one thing I've noticed about inks with more acrylic in them is that they tend to dry up in the cup a lot faster than inks that are not acrylic based. Another thing I was able to note about Raw Pigments versus some of the others out there is how smooth they're able to blend. For me personally, I'm an artist who mixes a lot of my colors inside the cup, which means I'm taking multiple bottles and mixing them together to make new tones. So for me, I want an ink that when the pigment is broken down into its smallest particles, they mix and blend very well. And that is something that I definitely get with raw ink, is that the consistency of all the inks across all the bottles are almost the same. Compared to some other companies, when you open up one of the reds, it may be a lot thinner, and then you open a yellow, it's going to be a lot thicker. That's one thing I am happy about, because like I said, for me personally, I do a lot of my ink mixing inside of the cup to match the colors of the tattoo that I'm actually working on. Once again, that's another really good thing about raw ink. I found that the colors come out of the bottle pretty true to hue. They do look pretty much the same from the outside of the bottle on the inside of the bottle. And the consistency, like I said, is buttery smooth, man. I've been getting some really good blends with all the palettes that I've set up with just this particular set that they sent me. With that being said, I've been having no troubles mixing these together, getting really good smooth blends and variations between my colors and saturation. One of my biggest hesitations and thoughts when I was first getting into using organic and vegan pigments were, do they last as long and do they stand as bold as other inks out there that are produced with the automotive, textile, and plastic industries? And I will say one thing that I have seen with the raw ink is that it is true to color and it heals phenomenally. I haven't seen any issues with loss of color or dulling of color over the healing process of my tattoo. Keep in mind, I haven't been using raw tattoo pigments as long as maybe some of you guys out there. Maybe some of you guys have better examples to show. And if so, drop a comment, man. Let me know what you think. So like I said, with tattoo inks, it really just comes down to preference. And for me, I personally prefer a tattoo ink with the least amount of inorganic pigments as possible. I want to know that when I go dispose of my ink cup, that the ink that's sitting inside of that ink cup is not causing its own adverse effect to the environment. And right now, I don't think it's any company out there on the market doing what Raw Pigment is doing. I love the tones they have. And if you go to the website, you'll see they have a lot of different colors to choose from. This set in particular that I'm using is the traditional set, but they do have a beautiful lineup of colors. The actual packaging is absolutely gorgeous. I love the branding. Like I said, it does come down to preference with tattoo ink. There are millions of different ones out there, but what I recommend, raw tattoo pigments, yes, And yes, especially if you're interested in picking up a pigment that is not only 100% organic, all natural, vegan, it is also acrylic free. That's one of the big things for me and why I'm looking at switching out all of these inks back here for a full set of the raw inks. When you know better, you do better. And now that I know that there are better options out there, then what's left to do is do better. And of course, don't just take my word for it. Go pick up a set today and try them out. Add them to your collection. I recommend you have at least one, if not the whole set. But if you're like me and you're more than conscious about the things that you're putting into your body, you're aware of the things that you're putting back into the earth, then it's a no-brainer for sure. Go give Raw Pigments a try. See if you like them for yourself. And if you do give them a try, please come back to this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like them or not. And if you are already using them, drop a comment and let us know what you think about them as well. We would love to hear your opinions. Once again, shout out to the good folks over at Raw Pigments. The customer service is awesome. Also, I talked to a few people from the team and they really have a passion for creating a great pigment for artists to be able to use, because these pigments are amazing. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be the next hot pigment on the market. So get yourself a set, try them out, let us know what you think. Peace and love, my peoples. Thank you for watching. And of course, as always, many blessings to you and yours. I'm claiming big things for me. I hope you claiming big success for you and your business. Hey, let's get it. You can't get high from sniffing ink.